Hello, I'm Brian Roten, Senior Reporter for Hotel News Now. I'm here with Toby O'Rourke, President and CEO of Kampgrounds of America, or KOA. Toby, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, camping has long been a popular travel or destination experience, but we've really seen interest in camping and camping adjacent experiences increase, particularly in the last couple of years. So, to get us started, can you share with us the observations you've had looking at travelers' desire to camp in the many different ways that they can, and maybe go into the latest report you put out, the camping and outdoor hospitality report?
Well, you're right. There was a surge of interest in the outdoors fueled by the pandemic. Camping has always been a popular activity. Our company is 62 years old. People have been traveling by RV, staying in cabins, pitching their own tent for a long time. During the pandemic, people didn't, as we know, travel traditionally. They weren't staying in hotels. They were looking for ways to be outside. So camping and what we call outdoor hospitality had this surge of interest. And just to put that in perspective, about 58 million households camped last year, and that's actually 27% ahead of where we were in 2019. So I think that just frames, how the category has exploded since the pandemic, and it's continuing to grow. But to answer your question, there's lots of ways people engage in outdoor hospitality. We define that as a stay in the outdoors with some level of service. People do bring their own tents. But what's really, driving this category is cabin accommodations, glamping, canvas tents, tree houses, yurts, and of course then RV. The RV market exploded. A lot of people bought RVs, rented RVs, and they're still continuing to travel that way.
So when people, go camping, nowadays with all the different, options available to them, what kind of experience are they looking for, and what is it that makes them choose to go camping in that way?
People really have gravitated towards the outdoors, the physical benefits of being outside. You can strengthen, people playing back to us that they see a strengthening of relationships when they spend time together outdoors. It's truly, memory making and relationship forming. And then there's this wellness component, like I said, the physical benefits, the health benefits. People are increasingly interested in unique experiences, and you can find those adjacent to outdoor stays. People are hiking, people are fishing, people are canoeing. People are engaging in outdoor recreation and then combining that with a stay in the outdoors.
Are you finding that as the definition of camping, as more offerings are available, the number of people, the different kinds of people, more of them are camping now because I didn't know I could do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a good example of that is the increase of interest in glamping. So this was something that people were aware of maybe 5-6 years ago, but it's really just exploded in popularity. And what I like about glamping, it's brought a whole new guest and traveler to the outdoors that never would have considered themselves campers. People that I don't want to pitch a tent and sleep on the ground. I can't see myself traveling around an RV, but there's a canvas tent with a luxurious bed and nice linens, and maybe even this beautiful bathroom, outdoor shower, and I can have a massage on site, and I can have access to all these great amenities. I would do that. So we have a product. I mean, most people think of KOA as our Kampgrounds, but we also have a brand called Terramore Outdoor Resort. We have a flagship property in Bar Harbor, Maine. We're looking to expand the brand. It's been really well received, and it's definitely targeted towards people who are coming to that market and typically stay in hotel resorts. We're giving them everything they expected at a resort in an outdoor setting.
Yeah, I would have to say, my family and I, we would definitely fall in the glamping category. We stayed in a cabin in southern Ohio a couple of years ago, and it was not a luxury cabin. I'll tell you that, and just wasn't a great experience. So I think if we could go more for the luxury cabin kind of experience, we would consider ourselves to be glampers.
What I like about this business I'm in is that there's something for everyone. There are some people that want to rough it, that are more that backcountry camper. They want to hike in. They want to, live simply and really rough it. And then there's all the way up to, hey, I want to be pampered and have a luxury stay. And then everything in between. So there truly is something for everybody. And we've seen such a change in even the demographics of people who camp over these past 4 or 5 years. Half of people that camp are under the age of 35 now. We've had a surge of increase in diversity. 40-some% of campers are non-white groups. So I think it's because there's so much variety and there's so much accessibility to the outdoors now that you're just seeing lots of different people trying it.
And you had mentioned the perception of KOA and people had a very traditional view of what it offered. But can you talk to us about how the offerings through KOA has expanded over the years and when that started and what helped change the mindset is like, yes, this still counts as camping. We're going to offer this.
Sure, I'll give a little context. KOA is the world's largest network of privately owned campgrounds. We have 515 campgrounds across the U.S. and Canada. We have everything from sites to bring your own tent to RV sites that can be very basic to premium sites with patios and grills and even adjacent fenced areas for your pet. We call those paw pen sites. To signature sites. Some sites have hot tubs, for example, or little pergolas for a group gathering. And then we've got this deluxe cabin product that has kitchens and bathrooms and all those comforts you might expect in a hotel room, but you have the added benefit of the outdoor experience. And you can have a campfire, and your kids can go play on the playground, and you can engage in the outdoors. So we have a really wide range of site types and then a wide range of campgrounds. So we have 3 types of KOAs. KOA journeys really are oriented towards that traveling camper, the traditional road trip camper on and off the highway, very close to highways and byways, but still great amenities and great comforts and everything that you would expect at a KOA, high quality and services. But then there's a KOA holiday. That's probably you're going to see more cabins. You're going to see more recreation. You're going to see swimming pools. You're going to see maybe some food service offerings. And then we've got KOA resorts. We have just under 20 KOA resorts across the country. And these, is definitely like pushing that luxury offering that's out there, that luxury segment. These, you don't even have to leave the campground if you don't want to. Is the idea is that everything's right there.
So, on top of seeing the idea of camping, and I am curious, what do you think of the term glamping? Is that something that you like? Bleisure is a kind of a divisive term. Some people like it, some people don't. So are you a fan of the term glamping?
Oh, I think it's fine. I think some people can understand it. It's a mashup of the word glamorous and camping, thus glamping. But I will tell you, when we were naming our Terramore product, we purposely did not use the word glamping. I didn't want to attach a word to it that might not have staying power. And just like you said, bleisure, those catchphrases go in and out of vogue. So we named our resort an outdoor resort, and I think that's perfectly encapsulates what it is. It's a resort in the outdoors. I use glamping, I reference glamping, but so I think it's fine. But we named our product an outdoor resort. And oftentimes in our KOAs, we'll refer to our glamping offerings as unique accommodations.
So obviously, everyone who's watching this space sees the interest in camping, in glamping, and everything in between. So hotel companies they're kind of moving in on your space here. They're doing luxury cabins, they're doing the really nice tents, they're doing tree houses, luxury RV spaces. So what's your take on the hotel industry moving into this camping space?
There has been some unique partnerships, even beyond what you're suggesting. There's some unique partnerships that have popped up lately where hotel loyalty programs will allow you to book at certain glamping locations. So I think what is happening is the hotel market is recognizing outdoors as a formidable part of travel. And based on our research, one out of every 4 leisure trips last year included camping or stay in the outdoors. So it's in the pandemic, at the height of that, it was 1 in 3. And so we recognize that, and I think hotel companies now do too, that people want unique experiences. So they are adding outdoor offerings. There's so many benefits to outdoor stays. So I think it's a smart move on their part to extend in some form or fashion in that direction by diversifying their offerings.
One thing we're we've been hearing about for the past couple of weeks, and hearing here at the conference, is the growing price sensitivity among leisure travel. When you look to the guests who stay at any one of your locations, uh, how concerned are you about price sensitivity among leisure travelers, and what do you see that leading to?
Yeah, I did think there was some really good data being shared at this conference that affects our business as well. On average, our rates are up about 4% this year now, but we see as we look across the country, different regions of the country might be taking price, and rate higher. And honestly, their camper nights or the occupancy is lower. So we have been playing around with rate where we've been in a very much, push rate drive these past few years. This year, we're playing with reducing rate and then seeing the return in occupancy. So we are getting more nimble. We are playing with that. We watch things very closely. I do think it's something that we have to pay attention to, that, people are, trying to figure out how they're going to spend their discretionary income, and the election year is always one that we see changes in our business naturally. So I think it's interesting to just keep an eye on that and play with rates, especially in certain markets if we have to.
So as you look ahead, how do you see the camping and glamping landscape changing over time?
Well, I think we have a bright future. I mean, people are still wanting to come out and camp. Yeah, there's a little bit of that normalization. We know the whole industry is talking about it. People are taking cruises. People are traveling internationally. But we're seeing people keep camping and glamping in their consideration set. Maybe they're camping once this year, where they camped maybe 3 times in previous years. So they still want to take that outdoor vacation. So I think our future is bright. I do think that we're constantly pushing our campgrounds to modernize. Some of these parks have been out there for 50, 60 years, and you always have to continue to inject capital and improve your guest experience. We have an ongoing project called Kampground of the Future, where we're ideating on how camping will change over the next 10 years, where we're looking at trends in technology, trends in sustainability, and trying to make sure that our parks are working ahead to give the guests the best experience. So we are looking at different technology integrations. I think you'll see more of that. I believe technology should provide a utility to the guest experience and not detract from it. Even though we're in an outdoor setting and people say they want to disconnect, really they want to be connected. So, Wi-Fi investment's very, very important. I think we'll see more with satellite Wi-Fi coming. Another push that we have on our parks is around accessibility. So accessibility might be pretty common in the hotel world. There's a lot of requirements, ADA requirements. We have those same requirements, but accessibility in an outdoor setting is very different. And we are doing a lot of work on everything from signage to pathways to different types of site types, different types of cabins, to ensure that people can continue to enjoy the outdoors as, some of their limitations may change.
Well, that's great. I honestly, being so focused on hotels, that's not something something I'd ever even really fully considered. But that's great to hear. The effort being made there. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we think it's important as people just naturally age. There's a change in capabilities, but it's also just when we do research, we see it's a big group of people have some form of physical or even neurodivergent need that we think we can better address in an outdoor environment, and we have to make improvements on our parks. We're encouraging the whole industry to do the same. And other things we're focused on in terms of evolution is sustainability. I think that naturally comes into play in every business, and we're looking at how we run our businesses more sustainable. And you're starting to see more EV chargers, for example, on campgrounds, as especially in rural areas where there needs to be more charging infrastructure. I think campgrounds can play a big role in serving that need.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, being so outdoor focused, you want to make sure that your values align with preserving the outdoors.
Yeah, that's right. So we want to make sure that people can continue to enjoy those outdoor spaces and they're staying with us. And we're really active in the outdoor recreation space and making sure that different legislation's being passed to preserve outdoor waters and lands, and we think that's important also.
So, closing out here, as you look to the remaining months of 2024 and looking into 2025, what's your outlook?
Well, our fall and balance of the year is still down in occupancy to last year. So we started off a little slower, had a little bit of a surge back, but now our outlook for fall is dipping back. We are seeing a shortening of the booking window, Where in the past couple years, because camping was so popular, people were booking 9 to 12 months out.
Wow.
So in some regards, it's positive that we're getting a little bit of that return to a shorter booking window. People like spontaneity, particularly RV travelers. They want to be able to stop where they want to and find a place to stay. So I think that's part of it. We're also seeing an impact, beginning, it's not going to stop, is from weather. I mean, there's increasing weather disruption, whether that's, natural disasters that are occurring. We had tornado issues this year. We having hurricane issues right now, fire season. We're having campground being evacuated in California for fires. So we are seeing more people push their stays to the shoulder season over the past couple of years. So spring and fall, and because of, I think, a feeling that there might be overcrowding, they might not be able to get a site, and also, in reaction to weather. So I think something we're keeping an eye on and finding just different ways that we can mitigate that. We've just introduced a weather guarantee. So now you can book a site, and if it rains on your stay, you actually get reimbursed for that stay. We're partnering with a company called Sensible Weather. And I think there's them and other partners out there are starting to look at how do we think about weather impacts to travel in an outdoor environment like we are. We're very, very sensitive to weather, so that's something we're definitely keeping an eye on. But in general, I think we'll end the year pretty close to last year, maybe a little bit down in occupancy, but probably pretty flat on overall revenues because of the increase in rate this year. I'm hoping that we can continue to try to get occupancy going back in the positive direction next year after we've normalized a bit the past couple of years, and I think we will. I think people are doing some other forms of vacations right now, but they're still keeping outdoors in their mix.
Well, Toby, thank you so much for joining us here today. And thank all of you for listening. Stick with Hotel News Now for further coverage from the Hotel Data Conference.
Hi, I'm Isaac Colazo, Vice President of Analytics at STR.
Hi, and I'm Jan Freitag, National Director for Hospitality Analytics for the CoStar Group. Tune in to our new show, Tell Me More, a hospitality data podcast.
It's a podcast on the global hotel industry, its current trends, what we're thinking about, and where the industry's going.
And we like to have fun with the data too. Find us on hotelnewsnow.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe today.
Thanks for listening. This episode was recorded August 8th, 2024, and produced and edited by Brian Roten. Go to hotelnewsnow.com every day for the latest in hotel industry news.